Hello, I'm Guelda Redmond, and this is the Elevating Women in Business podcast, where we talk to women entrepreneurs and business owners and learn their incredible and unique strategies to finding success. Hello, I'm Guelda Redmond. I'm the founder of the BC Women's Business Network and the host of Elevating Women in Business. And today we have a very talented guest. This is Lynn Rimmer, and she is the founder, builder, creator at G Lynn Originals, creating amazing custom handbags and totes and all kinds of wonderful things. She is a Baggineer, as she would call herself. Now, she lives in Surrey. She has 2 children, 3 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild, which is actually hard to believe because you don't look like you could have a great-grandchild. And she has been married for 21 years. She spent 30 years in the mechanical and electronic assembly field. She used to build safe cracking equipment. For the past 30 years, she's been heavily involved in car racing, volunteering at the racetrack in the Pacific Northwest, including professional races such as IndyCar and NASCAR Xfinity. So I want to just welcome you, Lynn, to the podcast. And what I want to do here is really elevate who you are, talk about what your business is, and let our audience know more about you. So let's start. Lynn, tell us a bit about yourself. Who is Lynn and what is she like?
Thanks for having me here, Guelda. This is an experiment, which I'm really good at. I'm the type of person that I'll jump off the deep end and then I'll check to see if there's water on the way down. I love trying new things. It gets me out of my comfort zone, which can make all of us get stuck in a rut at one point or the other. I'm an avid lover and worshiper of coffee. I have a wicked sense of humor that some people don't quite get, but nevertheless, it's there. I tend to look at life, the old half cup full, half cup empty thing. I don't look at it in that regard. I look at it as in life, for every bad, there is a good. And that has held true my entire life. And I'm enjoying my retirement. Yeah, I took early retirement at 62. And I discovered that I wasn't good at it. Though I had to find something to keep me busy. I can't be a couch potato. I can't binge watch soap operas. I need to be on the go.
Yeah.
And it's just this foray into the bag making business has been incredibly good for my soul and for my personal growth. Even at the age of 62, there's always room to grow. I don't know what tomorrow, next month, next year's going to bring. It's just going to come and you deal with it when it gets here. But yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying life and I hope I live to 100.
So you call yourself a Baggineer and you create the custom handbags. Can you tell us a little bit about your business and who are your clients?
Okay, my business actually started about 6 years ago when I was frustrated because I couldn't find a wallet. So, of course, I went on good old internet, found a pattern that I thought I could try because I've sewn my entire life. Well, sewing is not new to me. Bag making is. So I found this pattern, made the wallet, loved it. My girlfriends loved it, sold some to them, got another girlfriend making them. We got another girlfriend making them. And it was like an epidemic of wallets. Then I decided I wanted a bag to go with my wallet. And that's when the whole thing just started to come full circle. It can be challenging sometimes because I'm very isolated here.
Mm-hmm.
But my greatest joy, honestly, is when the customers walk through the door and we find a bag that they like, and then we trundle down the hall, and I literally have hundreds of fabrics here. And some of them just stand there and start to giggle.
Yeah.
They're so overwhelmed with the colors and the choices. And then they get so excited about building their own bag. And it's
Mhm.
that gives me intense pleasure.
Yeah, I bet. Yes.
They're happy.
Yeah.
It may not be a bag I want to build.
You
We all have parts of our jobs that are like that.
Yes.
My clients are predominantly women. A lot of them are very fashion forward women. Some of them now are starting to have branding bags made for them that identifies their company colors or company logos, whether they need a tote bag or just an everyday purse. Because I can also do embroidery on the bags. It's nice when you can carry like a statement piece and it catches somebody's eye, because as a businesswoman, sometimes it's hard to like get a conversation with a stranger going. But if they approach you saying, "Oh, wow, that's an awesome bag," it can then open up and lead around to you now talking about your business. And that's what it's all about. Building those connections, whether they be your Home Depot or you're down at Holt Renfrew. It's a very useful tool. And quite honestly, it makes you feel good to wear something that is yours. You don't see 80 times coming down the street at you.
Yeah. To being able to create it yourself. You're creating it, but they're actually designing it themselves. So it is very personal. It's a very intimate piece.
Yeah. And I couldn't begin to, let's say, pick out a bag and make it for you any more than you could come to my house and unpack and put away my kitchen after I've eaten.
Yes.
It's not done.
Yes, it's very true. It's very, and I think that's the thing when you go and you try to pick some cookie cutter accessories, colors, everything, it just, yeah, we settle. We end up settling unless we're like really into something like Coach or some of those
Gucci.
we got to have the brand name. But other than
Even the
that,
G Lynn Originals.
yes. And I have one,
Yes, you do.
which I love and carry with me everywhere. What have you considered some of the pivotal moments in your career as a Baggineer that have helped you become who you are today and the success that you found?
The biggest one for me, because when I first started out, it was just a little embroidery business and making cutesy this, that. And I had a cutesy little name. And my mom lived with us for a year before she died. And she kept hounding on me. No, no cutesy names. Use your name. You are the business. You are the brand.
Wow, she was very intuitive with business.
Oh, and my dad would be standing right behind her saying the same
Wow.
thing.
Wow.
And the more I thought about it, more I thought, and I hate to say this, okay, Mom, you're right. I've changed my cutesy little name to G Lynn Originals.
Yeah, I love that.
And I'm hoping that my name, because it is my personal own name, sticks with people because of the original. It's unique, it's individual, it's one of a kind.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was a pivoting point for me.
Yes.
And the second one was I didn't get myself out there until after COVID, because as we know, the world shut down. And
It's hard to start a business during COVID.
oh, it was. There was pick up and drop off on my front porch. I'd be talking to them through the window still with my mask on, just in case.
Yes.
But I knew I needed to get out there more. I knew I needed to meet more people, more women. And I knew I wanted to deal with professional business women. That was my initial wanting to get out there. So I found this networking group in South Surrey and registered and paid my money. And I'd get to where the meeting's being held. And I'm sitting in my vehicle in the parking lot, almost sick to my stomach about the thought of going in all by myself and not knowing anybody. I was terrified,
Yeah.
but I did it. That was another pivoting point. Ladies, get out of your comfort zone. It does not do you justice.
No, that's very true. And I love the first one with your talking about making your business more personal. and that you are your own brand. With what you're doing, your creativity, your talent, all of that is the brand for what you're doing. And so that's very interesting that your mom and dad saw that right away. I think that's quite often you almost want to hide behind a name sometimes, but when you bring yourself into it, other people will step up and listen a bit because you obviously the quality of what you do and you're willing to put your name on that quality, which says a lot. So that's really cool. And yes, being with like-minded people and it is a scary, I agree. It's scary walking in when you don't know anyone, but being with like-minded people and that's where you grow too, right? You learn about it. That's the whole point of this podcast too, is to we can learn from each other. How did you grow your business, Lynn? How did you get, was it word of mouth? Did you advertise? Was it just through networking? Like, how did you grow your business?
The networking was a huge part of it. And through that, then the referrals came through word of mouth. They'd send their sister or their next door neighbor or what have you. And then I ventured even further out last summer for the first time. And I started doing the White Rock Farmers Market. Now, you think farmers market and you think tomatoes, cucumbers, things like that. I didn't know what to expect. My bags, because they tend to be in the higher price range, in all honesty. I didn't know how well they would be received, but I thought, you know what? I've got my canopy. I got my stuff. I'll just go and make a day of it. I had such a great time with the people that came through, even the ones that didn't buy. I didn't care.
Yeah.
The people.
Yeah.
And little by little, the sales started to come. And then people would show up saying, I was here last week looking for you. And through that came custom orders. And that all helped lead to the growth of my business and more growth from me.
Yes.
Because going out and saying, I'm only going to go out if it's a sure thing, you may as well stay at home.
Yeah. And there's a lot to be said too. Like when you're doing the markets, it is a real learning experience because you have to speak your little elevator speech or whatever. You're saying that over and over, telling people what you do. And I know what you're saying about the price point, but I honestly don't think your price point is bad at all. I think it's for the women who are really going to care about having a G Lynn original. I think that it is very reasonable. It's about having that sense of feeling really put together. It's going to last a long time and is really going to look great on you. And your bag, your handbag, is such a big part of that. Having something custom made is such a huge thing. And the value of that is big.
I'm going to turn this around. What feeling do you get when you carry that custom bag?
I am so proud of it. I really am. Because I created it, like, and for me, I have a huge overwhelm kind of thing. So with the thought of going to your place and seeing hundreds of fabrics was like, I don't think that's going to be a good thing because I just will not be able to pick. So when you had that one bag, when we were somewhere and you had that one bag, and I was like, that's the fabric I want. But I also knew what style I wanted because I had seen the style at one place and then those fabrics in another and thought, oh, that's got to go together. And I love it. I love it because it's hands free.
Yes.
Right? And it's beautiful. You want it to be beautiful and functional. And that's the great thing about what you do.
Yeah. And that's the feeling that I want all my customers to walk away with.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, that's important. I don't want my customers to walk away and they got a new bag and they're settling. At a networking meeting last week, we were discussing this, that, and the other thing. And when I mentioned that I made left-handed bags, 5 ladies, their head came up and said, you what? Because they were left-handed.
Wow. Yeah.
Shouldn't the bag work for them?
That's part of the personal touches that come from living life. You're learning things and you're putting all of that care into your products as well. So it's amazing.
Like I always say, I want to make you a bag that works for you.
Mhm.
Against you.
Yeah.
'Cause I've bought those bags that I've wanted to set fire to.
I know, yes, there's always those ones where you wear them a couple times because they were quite pretty, but then you're, "Nope, that's
What?
going in the bin." You need functional and beauty. Yes. Which is what, and the fabrics that you use are quite amazing. Like, it's very wide range of the different things that you do. So if you're into certain things, or I know you have like a bunch of different cat patterns and things like that. So it's really so interesting that the people who buy your products have so much of their personality in what they're creating. And they can do that because you offer that, which is very cool.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of us out there that, darn it, we'll wear our personality on our arm. You're not going to buy an ugly pair of glasses
No.
because they're right on your face. Everybody can see it. Just like the purse you're carrying, people can see it.
Yeah.
It helps make you who you are.
And it's definitely a piece that if you can personalize it, it's so much more fun. That's so cool. So you were saying that you get a lot of word of mouth as well, which and that speaks a lot to the quality because people aren't going to tell their friends or family members or neighbors unless the quality is exceptional. And also the customer service. When you talk about how much it means to you that your clients are loving their bag, that it's a comfort thing. They're proud of it. It speaks volumes, and knowing that people are actually passing on that information. And I bet they are just being asked over and over, where did you get that? That is amazing. So,
About 3 years ago, there was a woman at the Legion in White Rock, and she came over and she picked out a bag, and I made her a bag. Within the next 6 weeks, I delivered 12 of the same type of bag, but in different colors and that, because the women down there just went nuts.
wow.
I could not keep those things in inventory. It was crazy. It was like,
When? Yeah.
but no, I love it when my customers can come and actually have an experience, the tram for the first time or whatever.
And right down to hardware, which that blows my mind because when you're saying to me, what kind of hardware do I'm like, I don't know, or more than one. But yeah, and it really does make a difference. So what advice do you have if there's a woman out there that is interested in doing what you do? What advice do you have for them to build their business and find that success?
The very first thing I would tell them is to make a decision whether you're going to be treating your bag making business as a hobby or if you're going to be actually turning it into a business, because that will dictate the paths you need to take
Mhm.
in order to be successful. Because you can have a successful hobby and love it when you're putting out 1 or 2 purses a month and that's all you need. Or if you're like me and no, this is my business. I
Mhm.
want all the women out there to feel good about their bag.
Yeah.
Sit down and, which is something I did not do, sit down and have somebody help you write a business plan.
Yeah.
It's critical. Have a credit card with a big credit on it because it does cost money. You have to be prepared.
Yeah, startup costs
The
would be
startup
right?
costs, yeah, they were huge. Absolutely huge. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 machines in my room right now, and I've got another one tucked away.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm working on them all.
Yeah.
And if you can find somebody like I would love to mentor another woman that would like to make bags. I feel alone. And I know there's women in the Lower Mainland that do that because I chat with them in our various Facebook groups. But they're a well-kept secret. They don't
Right.
put themselves out there. They don't market. They don't anything. They're quite happy to have it as a hobby. Great. If you know that, your world's a lot easier.
Yeah.
But to find somebody that would really be interested in this, oh, I'd love that.
So what are your plans for the future with your business?
I've made a list of all the things that I need to educate myself on, including technical aspects to help further my delivery of my product on the social media level. Invested in some new equipment. I'm learning new programs. I'm delving into setting up a website, which this all takes time, which sometimes I'm just so busy making.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, I don't have the gray matter to sit
Yeah.
and learn a new, program. But I've teamed up with another woman that's part of BC Women's Business Network, and we have set up an accountability. So we met yesterday and we decided that this and this is what we're going to start to do. Now I have to justify to her why I didn't do it. And vice versa, her, me. And it certainly helped me on the way home not feel so
Lonely.
other business women that are going through the same darn thing.
Yes. So many.
With somebody.
Yeah, that's a great idea. It also gives you someone to bounce ideas off of, right? They can hold you accountable, but they can also question you. So, well, why do you want to do that? Is that a revenue producing activity that you're talking about? Or is it just you're going to be busy for no great reason, right? So it's always good. That's the thing I love about getting together with other women for things like that, because the ideas, you can learn from someone else's mistakes. You have to go through them on yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's so cool.
That was great. My word for the year is expansion. So I want to expand my business to bigger markets. I want to expand my knowledge. I want to expand my social media reach. So
Yeah.
it's a huge 2025. I am so
Let's
excited.
go. Go. Oh, that's awesome. Yes. Yeah, a website. That's gonna be huge, Lynn. I'm just thinking because right now people are coming to your home to look at material, but you can be selling anywhere. You can technically be selling anywhere in the world. You
Yes.
may choose to stay in Canada just so you have to deal with the import export.
Actually, I've sold quite a few bags to women in the States, in New York, in Virginia, in Michigan, in Arizona. And the funny thing is, they were all bag makers.
Oh, really? Isn't that interesting?
And they got a hold of me as soon as I posted a bag saying, how much? Here's my address.
Yes.
So I'm hoping to have that same sort of excitement with the website because I want to do it a little differently. So
Yeah, and I think if you're really and that's part of when you're figuring out who your ideal client is and creating an avatar for who she is. She's a high-end woman. She's a high-end loving woman. She wants the best, and she's gonna want to have a G Lynn original herself. So, Lynn, you are one of the chapter leaders for the BC Women's Business Network. You are
the
the
Surrey
Surrey chapter leader. Wanna know what it was that kind of drew you to think about being a leader in this networking group?
in all honesty, I stumbled upon your group by accident over a year ago, and I joined the Langley chapter. And from the time I walked in, this time without an anxiety attack, till the time I left, I felt so welcome. I felt so empowered. I felt at home, met some fabulous women. And Louisa, who was the chapter leader at the time, she was just amazing. And she made the whole evening about all of us. And when you brought it up that you were wanting to open up a Surrey chapter, I thought, seeing what Louisa can get away with. I can get away with that too. Anyway, yeah, she laid the groundwork for that one. It's when a lot of women, when they go to networking events, they haven't quite swung their mind around to the giving aspect of it. They're there to just take. In all honesty, I did not know if I had anything of a chapter leader of value to add. I just knew that I wanted to welcome other women into a safe place
Yeah.
and where they can be themselves, where pretty much any topic under the sun went. Because it wasn't place, like second honeymoon on the beach, not a good idea. And it's one of those things where I didn't sit back and think, oh, if I can do this, it'll give me personal growth. That just came without saying, without a thought. And I truly enjoy the women that come there. Some of them make no bones about the fact that they're really not there to push their business, but the social connection is so critical.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's part of what we do too.
Yeah.
And you're still more than welcome. And I'm enjoying it. You might want to take a poll with the other ladies that go to the meetings.
Oh, I only hear great things.
But it was a wonderful opportunity. And I initially thought of two other names that, oh, they'd be really good at this. And then I had to go, hang on a shake. So would you.
Yeah.
And again, stepping outside my comfort zone.
Yeah.
That's what it is all about.
And that's true. And then the growth that you get from stepping outside of your comfort zone is amazing, but also the value that you bring to everybody else that's there. The fact that you are totally okay, because being a chapter leader is basically just you're facilitating the meeting. So you don't have to come with an amazing amount of knowledge or be anything super special. You all are, but it's more of a heart thing. You have to have the heart for it.
Yeah.
You have to have that kind of mom spirit of you want to give. You have to keep everyone under control sometimes, but not really, because as long as everybody's having fun, then we're okay with it.
Your group is really about true networking.
Yeah.
Because sometimes and yes, my meetings have gotten out of control.
I love it when they do that. That's my favorite meetings.
The women are exchanging so much. It really has nothing to do with business. They're exchanging on a personal level, whether it be a sense of humor or whether it be they had to put their dog down or whether it be the kid is failing math for the fourth year in a row and you just want to shake them.
Yeah.
That's how we network.
Yeah. And that's the thing about us being women only. Not to bash men at all, but a man would absolutely go berserk if they tried to come to one of our meetings, because we're not there just handing out business cards or trying to make a sale. We're there because we want to add value to everybody else that's at the meeting. We want to connect heart to heart, that's something that women do. And so one of the things we always say is we're about building relationships, and we're not talking about just business relationships. We're talking about real, strong friendships are coming in. Great collaborations. People work together, accountability partners, all these different things that are happening, but they're happening because these women are coming together, and it is a safe space. And really, that's the facilitating of a chapter leader, is that you just need to make sure that it stays a very welcoming, safe, inclusive environment for everybody who comes. And if somebody comes and they are having a bad day, that they can have a bad day and everybody's going to rally around them and be encouraging and supportive and sharing. Maybe somebody's been through this issue before and knows how to get out the other side, which is huge value. And by sharing that too, when the next person's going through it, then they know how to get out the other side as well. There's so much value that is shared in the meetings that are huge. But the chapter leader really does set a tone, which I think is great and has like a different sort of a little bit different feel to it. I love that. I think that humor is so important.
It's a prerequisite to life.
And we've all spent all month working in our various solitary offices. And exactly what you say is people are coming to the meetings, not necessarily to sell something or even promote themselves. They'll do their 3 minutes and they'll promote their business, but they don't even talk about it again. They're talking about everything else. And it's that connection that they need
And
because we are so
interaction.
isolated.
I have very few good friends. Growing up, sometimes I was in 3 different schools in a year because my dad moved with a job. And you can't form long-term relationships when that keeps happening. And through networking, I have found 2, and 2 for me is a big number.
Yeah.
I have found 2 very good friends that I admire. They've needed shoring up sometimes, and I'll give them what I can. I've needed shoring up. They've given me what they can. That would not have happened had I not stepped outside my comfort zone and started networking. It's crucial.
Yeah, it is. And I talk to a lot of women, like chatting with them on socials. They'll send me emails or people want to know about the group. And I think to me, that's the crucial part of it is our group is all about building relationships. It's about not feeling isolated. It's about, we have a lot of mutual learning too. In our meetings, somebody has a problem, they ask and everybody weighs in, and we don't have all the answers. We all have arms and hearts. And I think that for the most part, that is the most important piece that you can bring to a meeting. And those are the people who come back over and over are the ones that I would say it's more like going out for dinner with your girlfriend than it is really a business meeting, which we do business, we do learn and all of that as well. But that for women isn't the forefront. The forefront is the emotional connections. And I think that you guys, all of the chapter leaders, do really well at that. What about networking is the most important thing to you?
It forces me not remain isolated because it's real easy for me to stay in this little 10 by 12 room and not venture out. And through that networking, the benefits on a personal level are worth more than all the purses I can make to sell. It can be quite demanding sometimes, depending on how much networking you're doing.
Yeah.
But if you don't put that effort out there when you are networking, you will be doomed to being solitary in your 10 by 12 foot room. And it's been a lifesaver for me, in all honesty.
Yeah.
I would highly encourage any woman at least to try. And not all groups are a good fit.
This has been really fun. I've really enjoyed this. Thanks so much for joining me. And I will be including all your links and everything with the podcast. And so that anybody interested in owning a G Lynn original themselves will know exactly where to find you. And I also encourage anyone to check out the Surrey chapter meetings.
Thank you very much. I've enjoyed it.
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. We will talk to you again soon. Thank you for joining us, and check the notes for information about our guest. I invite you to join us at the BC Women's Business Network to meet many more amazing women. Hit the subscribe button and join us again next time on Elevating Women in Business.